Hi, my name is Jim Coker with 512 from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am here at Superbooth showing the new vector sequencer module. This is essentially a hardware adaptation of some software I've done for Mac OS X called Numerology. It is a digital step sequencer with a classic analog style control format. We have 8 encoders, 1 per step for editing whichever parameter values are visible at one time, and a little mini keyboard below those, so you can enter patterns here, or you can use these switches for things like skips and mutes. There are 8 parts in the sequencer. Each part has pitches you can edit, the gate times, velocity, step length. There's a ratchet function. There are chance operations, so for each step in a sequence, you can select from one of about 40 things you might want to do. Mute, unmute, skip, unskip, pitch operations, jumping forward, jumping backwards. In this case, for step 4, I have it set to jump backwards. I can set the probability at, say, 50%, or here it's set at 100%, and I have it happening every 4th bar. So with this, it's very easy to set up fills for drum patterns, or just a steady amount of small variation in a pattern. Each of the 8 parts has 2 subsequencers for internal modulation. So this is very handy because you can have very accurate modulation in time for critical time parameters like pitch shifting. So I can say I want a 4-step sequence at whole notes. I'm going to transpose by octaves, page over, add the transposition. It's there, always perfectly in time. Here's the main control page for this part. We can set the start step and the length of the sequence. Right now all the sequences are 16 steps maximum. That will increase to 64 before release, but you can easily set up a subset of that. You can even use parameter modulation to window through the sequence over time. Directions, forward, backwards, alternating modes. Hard sync allows you to force reset a sequence every so many beats. So if you have, say, a 5-step pattern and you want to reset it every 2 bars, you can set this to 8 beats. All common musical divisions for rate, but there are also, you can set in percent of a beat, or there's also a speed mode if you want to do patterns that are completely off tempo. Head back. Main octave setting for the patch. Bring it up and down very easily. Also a semitone transposition you can directly set here. There are 20 presets available per part. And I'm working on a scene mode where you can see all of the presets for all of your 8 parts. And you'll be able to scroll down, select new presets for the next scene, trigger the scene, have it activated on a bar line. Part of it is just seeing all of the amazing modules that are coming out for Eurorack, and there's just a lot of interesting ideas coming around. I've always enjoyed building software to interface with MIDI controllers for Numerology, and this is a style of interface I've been thinking about for a while, and I thought, okay, this time I'm going to make my own controller, except it will have its own sequencer as well. It's definitely a challenge. It's a really interesting problem because you can't just, in software you can always add another menu or another button or a slider, right? And here you have to choose which controls you're going to have and have everything work with that, and figuring out how to make that work in a natural fashion. The big breakthrough with the design was to find these displays, which are the perfect size, and we have 2 of them, and they're fully graphically addressable. Yeah, very high contrast. In terms of outputs, we have 2 sets of CV outputs on board, pitch, gate, and velocity for each. Lots of MIDI connections because I'm always working with both modular hardware and MIDI synthesizers. So we have 2 MIDI outputs on 3.5 millimeter jacks, and we have a USB host and USB device. Very handy. There's an expansion chassis for people with larger systems who want lots of CV. You get 4 more sets of monophonic CV, pitch, gate, and velocity again, 8 triggers, and then full-size MIDI and densing jacks. All of the outputs are fully assignable, so you can easily double parts across outputs. You can even split outputs between 2 different parts, so you could have pitch and gate from part 1, but velocity is just from part 6 for a generic CV. This will be $699 US, available starting August-ish. The expander is $359 US, and that will be a few weeks behind. It's 42 HP for the main unit and 12 for the expander. Very shallow, very skip friendly. So that's it. Thanks for coming by. Yeah.